I plan on doing YouTube as long as I can. I'm committed to this. I want to take it with me as long as you guys still are here to support me. That's what I want to do, and just I want to say thanks to all you guys who are still here supporting me.
I just want to say thank you because around this time I had about 50, maybe 30 or 50 subscribers, and I'm almost at 1,000 now. So I can't believe I have gained this much. So all I can say is, guys, thank you. Like, this is all on you. I would not be here without you guys. Like, I was literally not expecting to get this far on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers. I asked if you guys wanted to see this video on Twitter. This is going to be a Draw My Life, and the response was absolutely insane.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Chopper. Welcome everybody to today's video. Hope you're doing well. So the clips that you just saw were some of my oldest YouTube videos ever. And last night I was actually looking through a backlog of my channel just to sort of watch through those videos and see where I was at in my life at the point of me uploading them and what was going on during that time. And really, I wanted to take this video to kind of summarize what's happened the last few years. And I thought there would be no better way than to do it in the style of video that I originally came with, the Call of Duty commentary. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video, and we're also going to be talking a little about some life advice. I usually don't make videos like this anymore, but something was really driving me to make this, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going to listen to my gut. I started my YouTube channel in 2014, and I started uploading videos, some of those early clips that you saw in 2015. I started uploading videos almost immediately after my father passed in a long and painful battle with cancer. 3 days after his passing, I remember my aunt taking me to GameStop to pick up Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the first game that I really started posting YouTube videos on. I was about 16 years old at the time, still wasn't able to drive quite yet. I was living with my mom at the time and still in high school trying to figure out how to survive in that entire ecosystem and where my place was and try to make friends as best as I can and things like that. Jump to the time I'm recording this video. I'm 22 years old now. I've got my own house and a lot has changed. I've grown up a lot. And so what exactly happened? Having this YouTube channel for the past few years has given me opportunities that I would have never dreamed that I'd have, and it's also given me friends that I would have never conceived that I would even become friends with. I figure a lot of my demographic is around the age that I was when I either started this YouTube channel or the age that I am now, and this really like kind of awkward phase going from teenager to full-fledged adult where you're really trying to figure out what your purpose is in the world. I did YouTube videos as a hobby from my sophomore year in high school all the way up until my senior year, just as a little bit of a side project and just something to fill my time with doing, something that I felt was not only fun but productive, at least in some sense. There was virtually no money to be made on YouTube videos at the time, and especially given a channel my size during that time period, that it was literally never about any sort of, financial reasons to make YouTube videos. My first ever YouTube paycheck was 13 cents. At the same time, I was kind of embarrassed to have a YouTube channel and had a fear of like my classmates and stuff figuring out about it because they would tease me and everything, and if they found my YouTube channel they would play my videos out loud and try to embarrass me and stuff like that. And so it was one of those things that I kept under wraps for a really long time, or at least attempted to. As is with every graduating student for high school, you kind of got to think about what's next, right? Are you going to go to college? Are you going to continue your education? Are you going to maybe join the military? Are you going to get a job that you can find already? There's a lot of options to have, and this seems to be the biggest conundrum and the problem that people wrestle with most. And this is where I feel I can hopefully give some advice. And again, take it for how you will. I have taken this YouTube channel for the past 6 years, and I think I've created something kind of okay with it, like I'm pretty proud of the progress that I've made, but it didn't come at all without a lot of sacrifice, and I think that's where a lot of this motif is going to come into this video. Now, this really all changed when I went to university. That ultimately was my decision. I was going to go to college and continue my education. I haven't really talked about this a lot, but I actually ended up leaving college after my freshman year. I remember the day very clearly. I sat down at lunch with my mom, and I straight up told her, like, I'm not feeling fulfilled what I'm doing in school. It's not something that's actually meaningful to me, and I like making YouTube videos. I want to see if I can make this work. I had about 10,000 subscribers on my channel at the time, and it was a risky play to do. It's like giving up this sort of security where I kind of know I'm going to be able to get a job as long as I finish school, but I wanted to do the thing that I actually felt a lot more meaning in. After that conversation, she wanted to make sure that I understood what I was doing and understood the risk, and when I confirmed that I did, she was quite supportive of it actually. And the following year, that that I had left school, I took my channel from about 10,000 subscribers to about 150,000. And I left not because I didn't think I was doing well in school. In fact, my grades were pretty good and I probably could have finished out if I'd wanted, but it was just this feeling that didn't allow me to keep moving forward, and that I wasn't getting enough from that, or exactly not what I'm looking for. I tormented myself for about a year trying to decide whether I should leave school to continue this YouTube thing or if I should stay with the security, and I figured that I better go with my gut feeling and follow this thing that I enjoy, or else I'm going to pay for it later. And it turns out that's exactly right. I feel like I was kind of just drifting around when I was at school. You know, I didn't have any real purpose of what I was doing. I was kind of there just to be another number in a classroom, essentially. I was going to school for business, and as it turns out, business degrees are really not that valuable these days, and I wasn't really passionate about what I was doing whatsoever. Making YouTube videos and doing this whole thing really gave me a purpose, and so I at least decided to follow that. And years later, after making that decision, I can come back and tell you it was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, hands down. It didn't come without sacrifice. I have sunk countless hours into this YouTube channel, streaming and making videos and communicating with people that cannot even begin to comprehend the amount of time that I've spent doing just stuff on this YouTube channel. But as is with everything in life, there is a sacrifice to be made, and the sacrifice I made in pursuing the YouTube channel was a lot of the experiences that I otherwise could have had at university or working a, let's say, traditional job. A lot of these social interactions that help build character that you would typically receive from a college or university or any sort of workforce, interacting with other people, I sort of missed out on that kind of early on, and I only kind of recently realized that, although I found ways to compensate for it. YouTube is a pretty lonely job a lot of the times, you know. You're sat in your room making a video or you're streaming for hours on end, and it's normally just you. And that was fine for me in a lot of ways. I'm very introverted just by nature, and that seemed to be a perfect fit, although I did come to the understanding that I was missing out on a lot of things that I could have had. And I would say that if this seems to be a situation that even you're remotely in, there are some things you can actually do about it. Because of the path I took, I was able to take an unbelievable amount of trips to different places, travel the world, really, travel the country and everything, and make friends that, just through this YouTube channel, that I now consider my actual best friends. The past 4 years spent doing this YouTube channel and everything that comes along with it, I feel like I've developed a little bit more of a tool set than I would have had I stayed at university. Not only in terms of a technical skill set, in terms of what I can do for a job, but also a social skill set that comes with it. I've developed relationships and met people that I never otherwise would have thought I'd have the chance of interacting with, and it's taught me quite a lot. Hindsight is 20/20, of course, and I can look back at the decision I made at that very crucial point and say that, yeah, I made the right choice, but sometimes it's not so obvious in the moment. You know, do you leave the very clear and obvious choice for something that's a bit more risky? You have to think about that risk that incurs, because that is real. You know, that's something that you cannot take lightly. But there's also a risk and there's a danger with not taking it. And in my opinion, you need to consider that risk just as heavily. What's the price if I don't take this thing that's in front of me? The thing that really, that calls to you, I guess. Now, I think it's obvious that if I had spent the last 4 years just only making YouTube videos, you know, I may have created a moderately successful channel, but I wouldn't have really grown very much as a person, and that's actually true. And there's in my experience, quite a lot of things you can do to remedy that. The number one thing I would say is traveling, meeting other people and traveling to places that you probably wouldn't otherwise go to. Go completely outside of your comfort zone if possible. I also highly recommend reading some great books. If you're interested in some of the books I read that I think are very important and maybe influential, then I'm going to leave a link to those in the description, or I'll leave a list of them, and if you want, you can check them out on your own time. And what's interesting is I actually read a lot now, and when I was in school, I hated reading if it was mandatory. It's something I just wouldn't do, straight up. Nobody would force me to read, and I wouldn't. But now I read of my own free will, and the thing that changed is that I'm reading for a different reason now. I'm not reading because I need to pass a test or to memorize a set of facts that is going to come into play later. I'm reading because I want to expand as a person and grow, and that's really important to me. So that completely recontextualizes the purpose and the point of reading. And another thing I would say is to take as much responsibility in your life as you humanly can. And the reason I I think this is so important is it actually imbues your life with some kind of meaning. One of the books inside of the description is going to be Jordan Peterson's book, and that's actually the top one that I'm going to recommend, and I think what he says in that book is fundamentally right. Life isn't exactly about making yourself happy or doing the thing that makes you happy, to use that word. It's a little bit more sophisticated than that, I think. The tragedy of life will strike, and if your entire foundation is set on being simply happy, then it's going to wipe you out the minute it comes to you. The thing that will actually sustain you through life is finding the thing that is most meaningful, and the way you can arrive there is, from what he says, adopting responsibility, and I think that's correct. This YouTube channel was something that I actually felt meaning in because I cared whether it succeeded or failed, and I put my actual being into, you know, making this as well as I could. It's not even just about YouTube. I'm trying to extend that attitude to all aspects of my life, and I would say that right now, I'm in the best point I've probably ever been in my life currently. 2020 has obviously been quite strange, and it's been a set of challenges, we'll say for sure. But one of the things I think is important to keep in mind is that even despite these like trying times, you're certainly much stronger than you think. So what's getting me up out of bed every day is this unfailing urge to be better, and I need that, right? It's this fire, it's this spark, it's what I would say is the meaning. To do what you can to improve yourself in even the slightest and most minuscule ways is something that should at least kind of fulfill you. So my point to you ultimately from this point in my life is to find the thing that calls to you and make a plan to get there, even if it's a rough and sketched plan and busted. At least it's something. Don't just drift through life. You will pay for it later, and that is guaranteed. And obviously, me saying that, I'm still 22 years old. I still got a lot of growing up to do, and a lot of changes are probably coming for my life that I can't even suspect are down the road yet. So, I mean, a lot of things are going to change, but right where I am right now, I thought it was really kind of cool to look back at some of those older videos and see where I was at that point in my life. And I'm still doing this YouTube thing, and it was just kind of cool to see the difference in the progress, I guess. And again, I don't really know why I felt like I needed to make this video, but it was just something I felt like doing, and I honestly don't even know if I'm going to upload this video, but I just wanted to talk this out. We'll see, but yeah. I had this really strong urge to put this together, and hopefully this was able to help somebody out. I don't really know. It's almost kind of like a video for me as well. Just talking this out is kind of helping me organize this for just me, but you know, having the ability for other people to see it too is pretty great. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It was cool kind of looking back at these and seeing where we've gone. But if you guys have been around since the early days of the YouTube channel, I appreciate you sticking with me, and we're going to be here for hopefully many more years to come. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you are brand new around here, and I also stream on Twitch. If you guys haven't followed me over there, that is our new stream home. Maybe you haven't watched the channel in a while, that's where you are. So go check it out. Links in the description below. But I'll see you guys over there. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and peace out.